It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And Murray. One more week until Thor. Is this sort of like Christmas for you?
8 more days until Thor's Day.
All right. Are you? Yeah, I was gonna ask if you're counting down the days, but apparently you already answered that.
Thor's Day.
Have you got a thoner have you got as big a thoner as I do, Murray?
Probably bigger.
Right on, Murman.
I don't doubt that.
So, with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
I've got a raging thoner right now. Well, thanks to all who have been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform, or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/filmrageYYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film, and we probably will do it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, that's enough of that. Let's get to raging. But first, here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, Bryce, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going to my favorite cinema, Canyon Meadows Cinema, to see the best second-run movies at the best price.
What? How inexpensive are they?
Regular price is $5.
Regular price is $5. Makes me hope they also serve pizza.
They do, plus a lot of other great food choices. Plus, I'm planning my office Christmas party there. They can host a plethora of options for any get-together. Gaming, movie, drag show.
Drag show? Now I know where I'm planning my next party.
Hey, maybe you think there's a Liam Neeson or a superhero movie planned?
I hope not. But maybe there'll be a great independent documentary.
Sure. Call CMC at 403-670-5444 to book a special event, or go online at canyonmeadowscinemas.ca.
How these two guys are doing. I'm doing the show.
I'm drunk,
And
so
we're
what
starting
do I know?
off with something a little special.
A
So
special
we're
pre-screen
putting
release.
it in the streaming column.
That's right.
Well, it will be released in theaters.
Canada Day,
Canada Day.
July 1.
Yes, indeed. The film is called The Long Rider.
Giddy up.
The Long Rider is the story of Philippe Leite. Is that right?
I think that sounds right.
All right. Who embarks on a journey from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. You heard of the place?
I know
I've
that
been there a
place.
couple times.
I have put my spurs on in Calgary before.
There you go. He went from there to Brazil on horseback.
What?
That's crazy, right? That's a
crazy.
long journey. Felipe was inspired by the long rider Shifley, who embarked on a similar journey in 1925. Of course, Shifley did not have to deal with giant transport trucks whizzing by their ear and corrupt border crossings. This was an intense adventure as we witnessed Felipe and his horses battle through intense weather, which included extreme heat, drought, and torrential downpours. There are moments in this that are very emotional, as Felipe does not hide what he is feeling. His passion, or joy, or sadness, or excitement, or heartbreak are all on full display, which enables the viewer to become part of this epic adventure. Felipe is very likable, which makes him easy to root for. The horses all have unique characteristics as well, which leave you feeling as if you know them. Let's face it, the horses were the real star of this. Frenchie, Bruiser, and Dude. And I guess to a lesser extent Texas, although, you couldn't really hack
Don't
it.
mess with Texas is really what it says.
Well, he couldn't hack it. Apparently you can mess with Texas because he lasted not very long.
He's no Frenchie.
No, he's not. Frenchie, Brewster, and Dude were front and center through the whole doc. Looking out for each other. Looking out for Philippe. The bond that they all had with each other was powerful as they battled through some major adversity together. Unfortunately, the last 10 minutes of the doc were a little rushed and almost seemed tacked on. I think perhaps his second journey did not need to be presented in the way it was. It took away from the power of the first part. Some text on the screen maybe, just to describe the events after his first journey would have sufficed. But that's a minor complaint, as overall this harrowing undertaking was the stuff Mondos are made of. The Long Rider was indeed a Mondo.
Okay. Well, one man, a couple of horses, or I guess a few horses, and a handheld camera doesn't sound too exciting, especially a 2-year journey riding said horses across North America. But I couldn't have been more wrong. One of the most amazing openings of a film I've seen in a long time. The color saturation and the emotion instantly got me excited about this film. Right from the beginning, you can see and feel the passion and love that Philippe had for these horses. Every mile this trip takes is more exciting than the last, with characters like Segway Sam, or Jesus, or Shot Pascal, and the horses, as Bryce has already mentioned, like Frenchie, Dude, Bruiser, and Texas. This really was a joy to be on this journey with Philippe and this long time dream of his. I just kept saying, wow, every minute or so. To me, it was like a horse riding documentary, but of Pee-wee's Big Adventure with all the awesome people he comes in contact with. I still can't believe this journey he goes on took 2 whole years to complete. Through this film, not only do you get to know Philippe, you also get to know so much about horses, which to me sounds terrible, but I actually enjoyed taking this journey with Philippe all the way down to Brazil. I was fully in love with this movie right up until the last 15 minutes, which then kind of does what a lot of documentaries does. It falls apart a little bit. The pacing in the story, which was paced so perfectly up until about the last 15 minutes, falls apart just like our hero Philippe did. I really loved so much of this film, but because how the film wrapped up for me, it was going to be a super, super high Mondo, but it dropped itself all the way down to a super, super high meh. And I have some unpacking to do, just like you might have to do when you get on and off a horse.
Yes, indeed. That's interesting that the ending that usually that'll toast movies for me toasted this one for you.
I know.
I was a little more forgiving.
I really loved this doc. Like I really loved it, and the ending just was like almost like there was 2 separate documentaries. It was almost like the last 15 minutes was like a short they kind of tacked on to the end, because as you're taking this journey with him all through it, the characters and the people are just so amazing. But when he gets to the end part and he finishes Brazil, it's like they bring on a new narrator.
Yeah.
And they take this lifespan of another, I think it's got to be like 5 years, and compress it into 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I honestly think they should have the screen should have faded to black, and if you want to tack on, this is what he did afterwards. Just
I think
put
that
some
would have,
text up.
To your point,
Yeah.
if it ended like that, this would have been a perfect film.
Yeah.
This film, I think everybody should see, because it is really a joy to behold, and the film quality and the saturation, Philippe and every character
so
in it is
good, eh?
fantastic.
Man, did this look good.
For a handheld camera, but with one man for the most of it, and his compassion with his family. But holy crap, Frenchie, the star of the show, gets hit by a freaking car.
Doesn't phase Frenchie.
It's like nothing phases Frenchie. And
Frenchie went through some stuff, man, but Frenchie is a fighter.
What amazed me, and which was kind of portrayed also in this documentary, was that Philippe put his horses before himself.
Every time.
Yeah. And so, Frenchie gets hit by a car. Nope, we got to pull over. In 3 months, he's got to do... And that also happened to, I think, Bruiser, too, as he got his foot caught. And, they showed the welt that was in Bruiser's leg. It was just like, okay, I'm going to throw up a little bit right now because that's scary as fuck. But this film is really, really good. I'm so sad I couldn't... it's a full package of a movie. And if you're going to take me on this journey, finish the journey with the same level of perfection that we would have had. So, yeah.
The last part was all, as you say, really rushed, felt tacked on, and it's too bad. But I still like the first, 90% of it so much.
I know.
Still saying Mondo.
Well, and I'm going to say, in fairness to our listeners, Bryce is a horse person. So it's not like he's wearing horse-colored glasses on in this film, I'm sure.
I don't know what that means.
Does love his ponies.
He does. And I don't mean loves them in the physical manner. I mean he's loving them because he cares a lot about horses. Well, maybe, I don't know. That's I guess I haven't seen him around a horse, but I'm guessing it's just for his passion for horses. And he's being silent. So silence means consent.
All right then.
And I didn't think the Murr got to see this because Murray's is got broken cars and broken soul and broken schedules, and he didn't get a chance to see this beautiful film.
Yeah, that's too bad.
But there is a movie that Murray, I think, did get to see.
Did I? I saw a movie?
Yeah, you saw one in cinema.
I did see a couple. Alrighty. First up is Elvis
Presley?
Elvis.
Not Stoico?
Elvis Aaron Presley.
We saw the documentary about Elvis Stoico?
King of rock and roll.
The greatest skater of Canadian history?
I don't know about that, but... yeah, Elvis is Baz Luhrmann's biopic of Elvis Presley. From his childhood to becoming a rock and roll and movie star in the 50s and 60s, while maintaining a complex relationship with his manager, the evil Colonel Tom Parker. This film transported me back in time and allowed me to experience the whole Elvis phenomenon in a way I had never done before. I've seen a few Elvis movies, a few documentaries. I was only 6 when Elvis died. I did grow up with his music in my house, and it was a big part of me growing up. Austin Butler was absolutely magical as a true embodiment of Elvis. Eve did most of his own singing. He spent 2 years preparing for this role, and it shows. Like other Baz Luhrmann films, it was a spectacular. It wasn't perfect, though. I mean, first there was Tom Hanks' accent, which makes my buddy Jim cringe. I didn't really get the terrible accent until it's revealed that Tom Parker was actually a con man from Holland. So he wasn't even American, he was Dutch, which I guess is why they explained the accent. Even if it was done badly, that's what they were going for.
Yep.
Despite
Wasn't
that,
Dutch at all.
I was still mesmerized by Hanks and the true evilness of his character. Second, the modern music. Why Baz felt the need to include rap and hip-hop music and remakes of Presley's hit songs, I don't know. Apparently he did it to appeal to younger audience. Funny, I didn't see any teenagers in the theater we were at.
Yeah, not one.
It was mostly old people. So the song during the end credits was so bad, I had to leave.
He did. He walked out.
Plan on leaving, but it was terrible. It was.
He had to pee. It was a long movie.
That too, but I would have stuck around if it was actually Elvis music, but it wasn't. Despite all that, I freaking loved this film. Hunka Hunka Burning Mondo. And now for completely different.
And now for something completely different.
Yes.
Now, something tells me in the rumor mill that maybe Bryce hasn't seen this yet.
I have not.
Really?
This may be almost like a film rage first.
Possible.
Hey.
Well, there's a long story behind it.
It's a short story. My mom's coming is now here in town,
She wants to see it?
and she wants to see it. So I'm going with my mom. And if you got a problem with that,
Talk to
let's
your
get it
mom.
on.
As long as
I'm sorry. Are we getting it on right now?
I meant a different type of get it on.
Oh, well then, I have no interest in slapping you. Slap Club doesn't start until July.
All right. So yeah, I'm actually going to see it tomorrow. So
Well, you can check out our website because
the rating will
Bryce
be
will
on
be
there.
giving me the rating,
Yeah,
and
I
it'll be
will
updated
indeed.
on our website whenever he sees it.
I got a spoiler alert. It's gonna be meh,
Okay.
or maybe a rage.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll be Mondo, like
I
Murray.
think I'll be pleasantly surprised if you give it a meh.
Really?
I don't think you will.
Well, who knows what I'm going to give it?
I know
but-
what you're going to give it.
Yeah, you already know because we've talked about it. But there's one thing you can say about Baz Luhrmann films, and that's, as Murray already phrased it, spectacular or spectacle. Spectacular. Well, maybe two things. Jukebox musicals. I will 100% agree with Murray. Austin Butler does an awesome job of his portrayal of Elvis. The challenge I think he must have had, though, was trying to tone down a bit of Luhrmann because Lerman has a tendency to over-exemplify dramatic scenes, which has them coming off as fake most of the times, which happened a lot in this movie. The rest of the cast also did a very adequate jobs of their portrayals, except one glaringly obvious flaw. I noticed it in the trailer, and then in the movie, I noticed it even 20 times more. Every time he was on screen. What is that, you ask yourself? That's right, Murray. It's listening to Tom Hanks and his terrible, uncontrollable accent for 2 hours and 39 minutes.
And he's the narrator, by the way.
Yeah.
He's the nicest guy in Hollywood.
He is.
He could be the nicest guy in Hollywood, but they should have had a Dutch actor play this role. Yeah. He was absolutely deplorable through this whole movie. I don't care how evil the man was. I could not get past the fact his accent was the absolute worst accent portrayal I've ever seen in my entire life. Also, like most Baz Luhrmann films, this has no real character development, and any character, as it tries to fit way too much into this film, while it tries to put as many Elvis songs in it as it can. You feel nothing for any characters except Elvis, and not any interplay with Elvis and anyone else has any meaning. They showed really no connection with his mom or with his dad, and basically nothing with Priscilla either. They just jammed so much fucking Elvis singing and switched in nothing of substance. There was about 40 to 60 minutes too long, and by the time it ended, I was so exhausted trying to figure out why the last scene in this movie even happened. I kind of wish I just watched the Live from Hawaii concert again and then watched a documentary about Elvis. How does the expression go again? Let me try to think. Oh yeah, biopics suck. And in film rage terms, Elvis, the biopic, jukebox musical, is a rage. This movie was almost unwatchable. Other than if you love Elvis, you will like the number of Elvis performances. Mm-hmm. But this, as a film, there was no substance to this movie at all. There was no connection between any character. It was so rushed through the entire thing. It was just one scene after another scene, between throwing in another song with Elvis on stage, and it was just, there was nothing of substance in this movie. If you want, I'm not saying it's not a spectacle. I'm saying as a movie about Elvis, I learned nothing new. I just had a bunch of Elvis songs sang, and I saw that in a.
And I find if you know nothing about
watch
Elvis,
one of his concerts,
you probably would enjoy it, because it's people who didn't know what actually happened to Elvis, like how he ended up dying in Vegas, or what happened the last 10 years of his career, or why basically he was stuck doing terrible movies for 10 years. Like, if you didn't know all that, then you might actually
just tell me one thing.
What's that?
So in my mind's eye,
yes,
I'm thinking, okay, the perfect way to end this movie,
yes,
is Elvis sitting on the toilet having his heart attack.
Yes, that's what should have. Yeah.
Okay, so then all of a sudden, he keels over, he's face down on the floor with his ass up in the air, and then the camera pans over him and shows the last of his, the last thing that he left us,
which was peanut butter and banana chocolate sandwich.
Peanut butter and banana chocolate turd. Show the turd in the bowl.
Yep.
And then come back down to his face.
Yep.
On the linoleum.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit of drool.
No. Yep.
And that would be and then fade to black. Is that how it ended? Because that's how it ended.
That's not normally how Baz Luhrmann ends his films. So you can guess that probably didn't happen. That's the ending I wanted.
That's all I wanted to see. I just wanted to see his,
Yeah, you don't even get to see him really go through any hardship.
What?
No, that's not totally.
No, there's Murray. I mean, they didn't show any bad things of Elvis through this movie. It was a glorified, putting him up on this pedestal, and then they had 2.5 hours. It was a Baz Luhrmann film where there's music and he's sucking up to the whole Presley family. Right. Like, that's basically what it was. That's how he got the movie made. It has no substance for anything, for any character. None. There's no character development.
I am glad that I've gotten two completely different opinions on it.
Yes.
So now I can go in and form my own. I'm not going to be influenced one way or the other.
Except you have seen a Baz Luhrmann film before, right?
Okay, well, I've
Can
got,
you
I've-
remember?
I've got an
can you
idea
remember
of
a
what
Baz
to
Luhrmann
expect.
film that you actually really loved yet?
No, I
Okay,
cannot.
so you know what to expect. But here's the thing: if you love Elvis singing, you get a lot of that.
Well,
Which
we'll be
you know,
nice. That'll be okay,
that's
I guess.
But I would prefer to just watch Elvis in concert.
Actually, what you get is a lot of Austin Butler.
yeah,
Singing.
there you
And
go.
a little bit
Playing
of Elvis at the end.
That's right. There you go. So you get to see Austin Butler as Elvis singing Elvis songs.
The butler did it.
The Butler did it. You know what? That's a perfectly good summation of this. The Butler did it.
Yes.
He did a good job.
There you go.
He was great. What else did we see?
We saw something extra special, Jim.
Extra special?
Something already.
We saw something called
The Black.
The Black Phone. Ghostly slasher fun.
Okay, we didn't see The Black Phone. We saw The Black Phone.
It was more like
The
Black Phone. The Black Phone. This is the Black Phone calling. This is the Black Phone.
There you go.
The Black Phone. Ghostly slasher fun with amazing soundtrack and sound with the best CLF cast in a movie since
good.
I can't remember when. This film had such a great pace and some good, cool, ghostly jump scares. I felt the direction and the dialogue was outstanding, as was the entire cast. I really, really enjoyed the film, but I felt it lost some of the speed and intensity as it progressed, and our main actor, Mason Thames, did a great job, but the star of the show was played by his sister in the movie, Madeline McGraw, who plays a brilliant little sister. This film is a fun ride, but is a little predictable, but fun, and perhaps a little tropey, but still it was kind of fun. So it was fun, and it was just a high meh for me.
Oh.
And my favorite line, can you guess what it was? Jesus, what the fuck?
Yeah, right. I should have been
By
able-
far the best line in the entire movie. Jesus, what the fuck?
What say you, Murray?
I don't think he liked it as much as me.
How could you guess?
Well, because there was no Elvis songs in it.
No, and it was a horror movie.
Yeah,
There hasn't been a horror movie I've liked in a
Horror-ish.
long time.
What was the last one that you really liked? Was it Rob Jabaz's The Sadness?
Sure.
Okay.
I get phone calls from dead people.
I
Pretty much
I hear dead people.
sums up the movie. I did like that it was set in the 70s, though it kind of had to be because they had a rotary phone
Yeah.
as a major prop.
Nice.
For those kids out there born after the year 2000, it's where you actually used to have to dial each number.
And it would go.
Exactly. And that was the only phone they had. You didn't have any walking around phones. So, yeah, that was kind of cool. It was set in the 70s. Kind of like some of my other favorite movies. Hated pretty much everything else.
Okay.
What?
Literally nothing happens in the first hour of the film. Nothing. A couple of kids are abducted. That's pretty much it.
Actually, a lot of kids were abducted.
Lots of stuff
I
happened.
almost fell asleep. That's how freaking boring I was.
You didn't love the girl? She
What
was
is
No, I
going
didn't. I thought she was
on?
annoying.
Yeah.
It was way too slow for me and not scary at all. Not one jump scare for me. Not one.
Not even
Did-
one?
Not one.
Was it not supposed to be jump scares?
He
There
just
was
said
jump
it.
scares.
He
There was
said
jump
it.
scares. There was
Was
there was ghostly jump scares.
There wasn't
said
any
it.
jump scares.
When he went, oh, and there was a ghost.
I like
and he went,
real-
oh.
That was a
I
jump
like-
scare?
I like real ghost
Alright.
stories. This was not one of them.
Aw.
I felt
What
the
kind of,
kid-
is this a pretend ghost story?
I don't know. I
It's
found,
okay.
I found
It
the
was a
kid
ghost
was
story.
annoying.
There were ghosts.
Had a pretty big wuss.
Yep.
His kid sister was a lot tougher than him.
His kids.
So her whole
Yeah, she
seeing
was.
stuff in dreams
Yes.
thing was pretty lame.
I mean, really, Jesus, what the fuck?
Yeah. Only thing that really frightened me was reliving my own childhood of being bullied
That always
and
frightens him.
getting beat with a belt by my own alcoholic father. A
Ouch.
father who beats his kids for no reason. Thanks for that, Scott Derrickson.
Well, he was an
Rage.
alcoholic. He was an alcoholic.
There's
That's
no
why he did
excuse.
it.
I don't care if it's the 70s. There's no excuse.
I agree.
And
There's
I-
never an excuse to beat
And
kids.
it made me hate this film. Rage.
All right. So your emotions got a hold of you then.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Because I wasn't scared by the movie. I thought it was slow, and I really had a problem with him beating his kids.
Well, let's unpack this a little bit once we hear what Bryce has to say.
The Black Phone is another one of those movies that seemed to be made for me. The slow build, the development of every character, and then it took a turn into the supernatural, and I was still enjoying the experience. That is saying something.
What?
That is really saying something, as ghosts generally are not the recipe for goodness.
Not for Bryce.
Especially for me. The dynamic between brother and sister was so well done. Everyone should have a sister as loyal and awesome as Gwen. Ethan Hawke as the grabber was also excellent. Much of the movie, his face is covered by some super creepy Tom Savini masks, yet through his voice inflections and body language, he was able to convey a wide range of unsettling emotions. The movie took place in 1978, and it felt like 1978 in every frame, from the lighting to the wardrobe to the hairstyles to the music. They seem to have nailed 1978 as far as I can remember, as I was, only 4 years old in 78. But I'm pretty sure they got it.
That's the colors I remember from
There
78.
you go. Aside from the fairly cookie cutter ending, this movie was almost perfect. I enjoyed almost every second. Once again, I'm going to be generous. The ending didn't wreck it for me. I don't know what's going on with me today. I am going Mondo on this because it was so much good. The kids were tremendous. Ethan Hawke was very good.
He was.
And that first hour was perfect filmmaking. The first hour was perfect.
I loved the first hour. I think as soon as they got into the basement, it just, the tropiness took over. I found, maybe to Murray's point, I felt the suspense really wasn't there.
No.
It didn't have enough suspense built. The first hour, I agree with you. I love the first part of this film.
I don't know that there's ever been a better setup. It
is. But the carpet was pulled right out.
It took me back to the setup for like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where the whole first part is just the setup.
But it wasn't. Also but they didn't have a good climax. The ending I did like, actually. But the climax, there was... And you know me, I like to climax.
It was fine. I liked it a lot.
Come on, you really, I'm kind of
gobsmacked
right now.
I thought that was a great end scene with
it was a good end
with
scene.
Him coming out and seeing her.
But I gotta agree with Murray. Once it got into the basement, it wasn't enough suspense. They could have done so much more to build more suspense in this film, and it's kind of like they pulled that back a little bit to, there's probably a whole bunch on the edited floor on this because they wanted to get it to 14A so they could fill the cinemas more instead of it making it rated R. And I'm going to steal a line from you that says, if you're going to make this kind of movie, because remember we talked about this not that long ago.
Yeah, that was what was it called?
I don't know.
It was a cannibal movie.
I'm going to,
it was that vampire thing.
Yeah, so if you're going to make this kind of movie, this needs to be rated R. You should be fucking scared out of your fucking mind. And
Morbius.
I don't know if, maybe we haven't even talked about Fresh yet. We're going to talk about it.
We're talking about Morbius. Because Morbius was a PG.
Yeah, you said that too about Morbius. It
should have been R rated.
This should have been rated R, and it should have been scary as fuck. Yeah. This was not scary, to Murray's point, very much at all. The suspense built for the first hour, and then they just went, wah, wah, ghosts. And then it went all tropey.
First hour was perfect.
No.
And then the last half was not.
Last half hour wasn't as perfect, but
you know what?
So good.
You know what I think's happening right now, Murray?
What's that?
I think because Bryce's mom is here, he's liking
in a
her.
better mood.
He's in such a gospel mood of love for his mom that he's clouded his judgment.
I guess we gotta wait till his rage then see if he actually has.
I don't know. He might not. His rage is that he doesn't have enough rage in his life right now. Is what I'm thinking. So, did you have anything else you wanted to pile onto this, Mur?
No, I hated it.
More suspense for the rage that you gave it.
Yeah, like I like ghost stories. I like scary movies, but this was none of it.
Wasn't ghostly enough or scary enough.
Felt a little too much like Stranger Things. Or something
I don't like ghost stories, but I love this movie.
What was it? Super 8. Also set in the 70s.
Super 8 was awesome.
It was good,
Yeah.
but it
But that had a lot of
could have
suspense.
been scarier. And it was set, the main cast was all kids, much like this one.
I loved Super 8.
You know what? I think a good way to end this is I
Super
agree
8
with
was
Bryce. The
Mondo.
first hour was awesome. The pacing was great. And then I'm going to agree with Murray because it wasn't scary. And that's a good way to end that segment.
Whatevs.
Well then.
I could not be happier right now to hear what's going to come on the Murman Minute.
I don't know. You might not after your last 10 minutes here.
Oh,
I am going to roll it back a little bit past the whole...
78?
No, to the previous movie before this Black Phone nonsense.
Oh, the Elvis movie?
Yes. This week,
Elvis's best
we
movies?
saw Baz Luhrmann's epic film about the late king of rock and roll.
Oh God, you're not going to list.
The
Tom
top 10.
Hanks' bad accent notwithstanding, I think Austin Butler did a fantastic job
I would agree.
channeling the spirit of Elvis Aaron Presley.
I would agree.
So much so, the entire Presley family called it the best portrayal of Elvis ever.
Okay, I'm okay with this.
I would probably
We're
have
not
to
doing
agree.
Elvis movies. We're doing Elvis portrayals.
Not doing movies starring Elvis, no.
What is he? I'm so in suspense right
But
now.
I thought I would take a look at some of my favorite Elvis performances.
My favorite better be on your list.
It probably won't be because I probably haven't seen all the movies you have. First one might be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah,
David Keith, Heartbreak Hotel.
really.
1988.
Nice.
This was a Chris Columbus comedy, and I love my Chris Columbus
He does.
comedies.
I think it's your favorite director.
It is probably one of mine between him and Hughes.
Nice.
David Keith's performance in this comedy was spot on, even if a bit campy. Basic plot is an Ohio farm boy who kidnaps Elvis after a show in 1972.
I have a feeling I know what movie's going to be on here,
Takes him
though.
home, settles in as the guy's stepdad, makes moves on his mom, and teaches him how to conquer bullies through the power of rock and roll swagger.
Nice. And this is going to be a
Gotta
nice
love it.
transition into
Bubba Hotel.
Bubba Hotel.
That's it.
Yes.
You nailed it. Bruce Campbell's number one, the best Elvis portrayal ever
made.
And let me just add that Ozzie Davis is the best John F. Kennedy portrayal ever.
There we go.
My man Bruce plays a washed-up Elvis stranded in a dingy retirement home, plagued by mummies.
One of, I want to say probably 10 movies that we've had on our podcast where we all 100% agree. It's a Mondo.
Oh, it's so good.
Next up is one you probably may not have seen. It's a mini-series.
What's that?
Jonathan Rhys Myers. He played Elvis in 2005.
Ah.
He won awards for it.
Really?
I'd never heard of this guy before. I saw this on TV, and I became an instant fan of his.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Even
it
though
called?
it's just called Elvis.
Oh.
Even though he's from Ireland, his southern accent, sad eyes, and overall presence in the miniseries, he doesn't do his own singing, but neither do most of the other ones. In spite of that, probably my favorite interpretation of the King, and I believe it won multiple Emmys.
Oh, nice.
So he was phenomenal in it, and I had never seen him before, and I just
Cool.
was blown away by him. Number one,
With a bullet?
not with a bullet, just
Number one.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell in that Christmas movie?
Elvis.
Oh,
1979. The first TV Elvis is still the best. Kurt Russell starred as the King in an epic 3-hour made-for-TV movie that aired in 1979, less than 2 years after Elvis died. It was also the project that first teamed Russell with director John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Russell's movie star charisma makes him impossible to ignore, and it was memorable.
All right.
I don't think I've seen that.
Well, there you go. It's a John.
It's a
Carpenter.
TV movie.
It's John Carpenter. You like John Carpenter?
And John Carpenter directed.
Yes.
Now I want it. Now
First time him and Russell ever worked.
I
together.
know. I'm just still so surprised.
And like a year later, they did the thing. So there you go.
Wow. Now I hate. I've never said this on our podcast. I want to go see a TV movie.
Go right ahead.
That's so good.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Missed it.
Sweet, sweet, sweet rage. Well, I was still percolating my rage, Murray.
Yeah.
So my rage this week may come as a surprise to some of you, because I've given no hints as to what my rage is from. But Bryce may know what my rage is. Care to take a guess, Bryce? Based on our viewing experience when we went and saw The Black Phone.
The Black Phone is calling.
Is this an in-theater experience?
Somewhat.
I don't know what your
I
rage
have
is.
one too, once you're done.
So my rage this week
Yeah.
is the second trailer for the film Nope.
Come on. Yes.
I have not been more excited to see a movie probably in my life after seeing the trailer for this. The original
first trailer.
The original trailer is so good
Yep.
that I was like, I need to see this movie right now.
Yep.
And then when I saw the trailer on the weekend, I said, I don't even know if I want to see this movie.
There is too much reveal.
There's so much reveal in the second trailer. It's like now I feel like I don't even need to see the movie.
I can't believe they do this, and they do it all the time.
But why would Jordan Peele allow this to happen? Like
there was like three trailers that we
did
watched
the same.
that
Yes,
did the same thing. That
Yes.
we're sitting there like, well,
now I don't want to see
pretty
this.
good, but I guess I don't need to see it.
Yeah, it was like one fucking trailer after the other where they just kept showing
Just
too
stop.
much of the movie.
Just stop.
And it was just like I have no hope
Yeah.
except for my Thoner, which I have for next Thursday, that to see a film because every other one is spoiled rotten with these stupid, terrible trailers. It's almost like I don't want to go there in time for the trailers. I want to show up 15 minutes late now because they're just going to ruin me for the movies that are coming for the rest of the season.
You know what? At the very least, they should just put a giant spoiler alert disclaimer so you can leave the cinema.
Well,
Or plug your ears and close your eyes.
No, but it's just why don't you just say
Or just
this
not
is
make
now
them.
a trailer that's going to make you hate this movie before you see it. That's what this disclaimer needs to be. We have now released the second trailer for a movie that you've been looking forward to for the last year and a half. But you know what? This trailer is going to make you hate this movie. But we felt we should play it anyway just to get you to say we still want to see it, even though now you don't. That's my rage this week. Stop putting terrible trailers out. That's my rage.
Yes.
Probably not going to happen.
I'm so angry, Murray. When I went in there, I almost left the movie.
I get it.
Maybe that's why I didn't like
The Black Phone.
as much.
You liked it pretty good though, like more than I did. And I saw those same trailers. This made nothing that I saw wanted to see any of it.
You didn't. That's true.
My rage is Cineplex, or more accurately, Cineplex Club.
What?
I have to buy tickets online in order to use my Cineplex special pricing or free tickets.
Yep.
I do not have one of them fancy walking around phones. This is becoming a pain in the backside that I have to plan well in advance. I can't just show up at a theater and use any of them. It's stupid. I don't understand why it can't just be connected to my scene card just like it is with Landmark.
Yep.
It's dumb. I don't understand. I scan the card, I get the discount for the, if I want my tasty popcorn. Why can't I scan the card and get the discount for my movie ticket? Why? Why?
So for our U.S. listeners, just in the States, or AMC in the States, because they have a shitty rewards program that doesn't allow you flexibility to redeem your points.
Unless you use your credit card for everything.
Yeah. So, yeah, you know what? Do you remember when the app blew up and I lost my shit at the movie theaters and I screamed at every single person that worked at Cineplex?
I do remember that.
I've been telling us.
And the one we go to
and now
downtown,
I understand.
The one we go to downtown doesn't even recognize it. You can't even use it at that Cineplex.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Here's our list of Calgary cinemas in order of the ones we love. First off, it's CMC, who's our sponsor. We love them dearly, even though we've seen all the movies by the time they get there. Then I'm going to say we love Landmark. Then the Plaza, I know Murray's not going to jump on board with that because they're art house. And then the Globe, which is where all the festivals play.
Yep.
So if you're listening to our podcast...
And dead last is Cineplex.
And dead last is Cineplex. I want them to dry
Well,
up.
here's another nail in their coffin.
Oh.
I do not belong to that club.
You do not.
For the reasons that Bryce just said. I don't want to have to use my credit card every time I want to book a ticket.
That's right.
I want to be at the theater and use it there. With Landmark, you can just, you use the barcode on your Landmark
That's
movie
right.
covers card or whatever, and boom, you get the discount.
But that
Yeah.
forces
But
Murray to
Cineplex-
come with me all the time, which
Yeah.
makes me happy.
Well, then I have to pay you the ticket ahead of time.
That's right.
But yesterday when I went, now I
You
had
didn't get my discount.
I had to lay off the sweets and everything because I had a blood test today.
That's right.
So, but I was gonna get a soda.
Uh-oh.
Got there, none of their soda machines worked. They
What?
had zero soda.
Really?
Period.
This we should, you know what? Next week we should just
I had to get a bottle
do
of
an
water.
episode about how much we hate Cineplex and just.
Ah,
But you know the best thing about it when I go with Murray and he actually sticks the fives in my underwear.
does he really?
Yeah, it's like I have to do a little jiggle, and then he slips the fives in my underwear,
Only 'cause
just
we-
like a stripper.
Only because we don't have singles.
That's right. If we had singles, it would be
It would
even
be all
more.
ones.
It would be more.
It would last longer.
it
It would
would-
be more pleasurable.
That's right.
Anyway, yeah, we agree. Cineplex sucks.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Hi, this is Tony, the host of the Flicks X-Rayed podcast. Each week, I am joined by guests. Hello.
Yo.
Why, hello there.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
And we have a roundtable discussion where we dig deep and X-ray a bunch of our favorite films and some really terrible ones too. We really like to go back and take a look at films that may be forgotten, maybe in the past, and still lovable films. If you want, you can follow us on all the major platforms, iTunes, Google, Stitcher.
If you want to find out more, you can find us online at www.flixxray.com.
And you can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram if you want to reach out to us. Good night, Internet.
Good night.
www.internet.com. I love our lists music.
It's fitting.
It is kind of fitting.
I did good.
So, was it just me, or did the rest of you clowns get to see the currently repulsive Alicia Silverstone?
Well, let go ahead and tell me what you thought of Sister of
I
the
think
Groom.
I saw an Aerosmith video over the weekend.
Nice. Was she in it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, of course. Is she in
She's in
everyone?
No, she's in
No,
one.
She's in every one of them?
She's in at least 2 or 3.
Is she in 2 or 3?
Oh, yeah.
So, we got to see
I
the
think she's
sister,
in Crying. That's all I remember.
the
Yeah.
sister
There
of
was
the
one with-
groom,
There's one with Liv Tyler, too.
which was a new age Jewish wedding party weekend
Sweet.
where nothing makes sense. Everything is badly done, and everyone in the film is repulsive, especially our lead, who I'm assuming now is also doubted.
Are you assuming that?
I'm assuming that because this movie was so completely awful. The film quality was terrible.
Yeah.
And the stupidity of literally everything in this. Nothing made sense. Not one thing connected to another to make it any sense whatsoever.
Interesting.
I was so angry after seeing this movie. In fact, my wife said, "Can you please stop getting me to watch these movies when you have to watch them?"
So here's what I did.
Yes.
I looked at her list
Yes.
and I'm like, why in the hell are we watching Sister of the Groom?
Okay.
So I didn't.
What?
What I watched instead
Right.
was The Bad Therapist, because if you look at the list,
Yes.
it makes more sense.
Wait. It was our discussion. Why didn't you tell me this?
Because I wanted you to watch Sister of the Groom so badly,
I hate you right now.
and I was so glad that you did. But here's the thing. The Bad Therapist actually had a shot at not being a rage, which I think we can both agree that Sister of the Groom had no shot of not being a raged.
There was no shot whatsoever. This
Here's
should
the
never
other
have been
thing. The
rated.
Bad Therapist was right after The Lodge, which was
was a
meh.
meh.
So this one actually had a shot of having her either maybe not doubted.
Where is it? Are you taking bad therapy?
The Bad is it Bad Therapist? The Bad Therapist, I thought. it
Okay,
was
so I've got.
called. Is it?
I don't see that in her
What are you
list.
talking about?
Alicia Silverstone,
The
We have The Lodge.
Yeah. That's TV
Oh,
series,
geez.
TV series.
Bad Therapy.
Okay,
So-
Bad
so
Therapy,
get your
Bad
movie
Therapy.
names right.
Whatever. It's an Alicia Silverstone movie. Who cares? So Bad
makes a big-
Therapy.
It makes a difference when I'm trying to find the movie.
Don't get me started.
Okay.
At any rate, long story short, Lodge was meh. Agreed, right?
Agreed. Yeah, I didn't mind that.
And guess what? Bad Therapy was also meh. She's not doubted. But she is repulsive.
Can't believe that. You know what? This week is almost not fair. If you would have watched this movie any other week,
Yeah.
that you're giving out Mondos left and right,
Like candy.
and then you're giving a complete. How could you watch an entire movie with her in it? Was she in it a lot of the time?
She is in it quite a bit.
Because you would literally
And she was
could
terrible.
not get past much without
But-
throwing up
But
most
Rob
of the time.
Corddry was in it.
Yeah, but you and your one person funny in it
No,
doesn't
no.
make a movie.
He wasn't funny.
Was the script terrible?
The script was okay. The script was meh.
I don't think that's true.
And Rob Corddry wasn't funny. This was a dramatic piece. And it was okay. It was meh. It did not make me rage. I did
Okay,
not,
so
after
what
it, I
you're
was
saying is,
what I'm saying is,
first off, let me say I hate you.
That's
Second
fine.
of all, going backwards,
it's all rage.
Well, their Bad Therapy is a
then
meh.
It's meh.
So we're starting from Bad Therapy.
Okay.
Valley Girl was a rage.
I don't know.
I saw it.
Okay. I'll trust
Even though
you
it's
then.
uncredited, which I don't think we should have to.
Yeah.
So now
And
we're gonna.
and once
You know
again,
what you've done to yourself.
And once again,
you now have to see.
I don't have to see anything. She's
tunnels.
not on it.
Yeah, but if you add up her films, if she because she makes 3 or 4 a month.
Okay, well, we may have to revisit this at some point.
Yeah, we will be.
I'm not saying that we
We
don't.
will be. I'm gonna be.
Having said all this, she's in one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah. So that's so long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
It was past 8 ago.
Yeah, it was just past 8 ago.
Still past 8 ago.
Just past 8 ago.
But it's still past 8 ago.
I like saying 8 ago. It sounds like a word
does
when,
almost-
when it's like 3 words.
8 ago.
8 ago.
It's like only used in the list segments.
Just past 8 ago.
It's like a time now. Well, stay tuned, people, because
I'm not saying that she's forever not doubted. I'm just saying right now, she's not doubted.
And I'm saying you're giving away mez like you were Mondos like candy. That's what I'm saying.
That's my prerogative.
I'm going to talk to your mom after this. I'm going to tell her to slap you a couple of times.
We're gonna tell your mom.
That's right. We're going to tell your mom about how nice you are.
I am. Nice boy.
You're actually not that nice. Okay, so we may still be able to add somebody to the list this week.
Yes. What? Who? What?
Because
What's
last
going
week
on?
we talked about Cameron Diaz.
Oh, why did we do that?
Well, because she was in a movie. And then you said
She was in a few movies.
you said
Yes.
we should be talking about her, but it wasn't during the lists. So now
Oh.
it's the list and we're talking about Cameron Diaz.
Oh.
And you said, and I quote,
She's
repulsive.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
And that's what we're talking about. So Murray, do you find Cameron Diaz repulsive? And be honest, because remember, he just saved Alicia Silverstone with his gifts of meh.
And I'm happy about that because
with a movie I didn't even remember the name of.
Yeah. Apparently it was
that
so
I
meh
just
he
watched
remembered.
last night.
I thought she was okay and something about Mary.
So, you know what? I
That's
got to
not-
agree with you.
That's not what we asked.
Actually, you know what?
Well, I don't find her as repulsive as say a few other actresses out there.
But ultimately, you're saying, and you know what? I got to go with it because I've seen her in a lot of movies where she is repulsive.
I might say doubted.
Yeah, she could be doubted. We might have to look at that. But you know what? I'm going to say I don't think she's repulsive because of the movie Something About Mary.
Because of that movie, eh?
That's right.
Well, and she was okay in Charlie's Angels,
Oh,
the
God.
movie that it was.
Okay, let's just stop the conversation
You know what? I think
there.
she wasn't that repulsive in that
Oh,
one
she
either.
I
was.
liked it better than
so-
Drew Barrymore. I can tell you that.
Well, but
She was terrible.
there's a high bar.
Well, she was a producer. She should have been better.
But Lucy Liu was in it, so nobody
There you
noticed
go.
anybody because
There you
Lucy
go.
Liu was in
There
it,
you go.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray.
and Bill Murray.
Well,
that's
what's-
right. As Bosley.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
We're talking
anymore.
about how awesome
Cameron
Bill
Diaz
Murray
movies.
was.
You
We're
asked my
talking about
opinion.
Bill Murray and how awesome he was in.
You asked my opinion on Cameron Diaz movie.
That's right.
Oh,
so
right. That's
apparently
what
we're
we
not
asked.
going to get there. Now, Murr,
Yeah.
have you got a Mesmerized Off for us for next week?
You didn't really give me any parameters. You just
Well,
No.
that you've got a lot of people on the list.
but we went from Christopher Walken all the time to like you didn't.
You know, actually,
give
you know
me
what?
My next target.
You know what? I'm going to throw a challenge to you then,
What's that?
because we've been doing a mesmerize off for so much. What we need to really do is a repulsive off.
Repulsive off.
Yes,
we
way.
don't. No, we
yes,
don't.
yes, we
What's
do.
that mean? So
Well,
what's
you're
that
going to
mean?
find
That
two
doesn't
people
make-
that are repulsive in the same movie, and
No.
one of them, yes, it's the
No.
complete opposite of mesmerizing.
No.
Murray, you find a repulsive off,
No.
and one can't be more repulsive than the
No.
other. Yes. Next week, people,
Anyways.
someone's going to be removed from the
I do
for
have one,
repulsive,
though.
and it may be
We
Alicia
don't have enough
Silverstone.
people on the repulsive list.
Well, let's talk about who we have on the repulsive list.
We
shall
got we got what, like 8 or 9?
Yeah, so it's going to be a pretty
So
easy
yeah, no.
because they're probably all in the,
The
same
reason
movies
that
together.
we're doing this with the mesmerized list is because the list is 9,000 names long. We're not once we get it up to 9,000, then we can start talking about it. But no,
No,
I'm kiboshing this right now.
No
'cause
way.
There aren't enough names on it.
Okay, let me tell you how many names there are.
There's
I don't-
the old Bryce.
That's right. He's finally
He's
stopped
back.
giving out Mez and Mondos with candy, and he's back.
Yeah, it's like, if there's under 20 names on it, no. The reason the mesmerized off is happening is because there's got to be 50. I mean, it's stupid. There's a lot of names
2
on it.
pages.
Well, you know what? Lucky for you,
Uh huh.
there's a glitch in our repulsive list, which I have to go fix in Wix.
Uh huh.
Well,
Yeah, there's
Otherwise-
there's a glitch sitting at this table right now.
That's
and
right,
his name
you
is
giving out
Jim.
Mez.
Gonna mail you.
Now I
in
want
a
to go.
minute.
Will you?
In
In front of all these people?
Mail you upside the head.
I do have a mesmerized off if you want it.
Yes.
Yes.
Give it to me.
It's a Francis McDormand.
All right.
Because
Oh,
that's the next name we were talking about.
yes, we were.
right.
Mississippi Burning.
Okay.
Okay.
I am all
Willem
for
Dafoe.
watching it.
He's
Yeah.
still on our list, is he not?
He is.
He hasn't been knocked off yet.
I don't believe so.
I know Oldman got knocked off because I had a few with 2 of them, but I believe he was given the kibosh.
All right, Mississippi Burning. I haven't watched that
With
in a while.
my mesmerizing Gene Hackman. I don't know why he's not.
Hackman.
Love Hackman.
Hackman.
Hackman, like Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Francis.
He was Lex Luthor.
That's actually a really
Was
good.
The best Lex Luthor ever.
So
I won't argue with that.
McDormand versus Dafoe.
Before was terrible. Yes, yes, Dafoe and Mississippi Burning.
Nice.
Digging it.
I
Yeah.
believe won some awards.
This is two heads of state.
Yes.
It is. All right, let's move on.
They were also in Fargo, but that one's too easy. So
Well, we already did Fargo, and no
Did we
one
do
was
Fargo?
no one out
Oh, yeah, 'cause
mesmerized
there's like-
anybody.
we had like
there's like 4 people on there.
I know.
That's
We
right.
all came up with different names.
Yeah.
Yep, too many.
Many.
Too many. All right,
All right. That's,
Too
that's
much,
the list.
baby, now.
you're
All right.
up there, Jimbo.
Last week on Rage or Dare, the gang from Two Idiots and a Dog read the tea leaves of the robot future and dared the crew to watch Pacific Rim Uprising. This week I'm sure he'll whine about it, as he normally does, but Bryce is alone to either Rage or Dare. Now, let's check in with the crew and see if dressing up like a robot and slapping kaijus around is as sexual and fun as it sounds. Is there anything surprising about this uprising? Or is there an obvious reason why Guillermo del Toro chose to make a film involving fish-human sexing over directing this sequel?
All right. Sorry, it's my turn again?
It's our turn now, and it's
Yeah.
your turn next week.
I don't. Are you sure about that?
I'm positive. I went to the website, and the website is always right. See,
It's always my
Casey-
turn. I don't understand.
Exactly. Casey nailed it.
It's like every week. Oh, whose turn is it? Oh, it's your turn, Bryce. No,
You only get
It can't
one,
be my
you
turn every
only-
week.
You get 1 week off every 2 weeks. It's the same as it's
I
been.
get no
since-
weeks off.
You do get weeks off. And do you want me to remind you
No,
of when the last time
whatever,
that you got a
just-
week off?
Just stop.
When I had to see something?
Yeah, actually I do, now that you
Okay.
mention it.
All
Because
right,
I
let me
don't
just-
believe you. I think that this is bunk.
You think that...
I believe it was the Ashton Kutcher thing, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you watched that last week.
Yeah. Do you remember when I watched
Something
What
about
Happens in
What
Vegas?
Happens in Vegas. Oh,
and then
yeah.
we watched Pacific Rim
Okay.
Uprising.
It's fine. I guess it's my turn.
So, okay,
Anyways,
can we just make a quick summation here?
Of what?
That first off, Bryce is giving away free goods, and second of all, that he is a baby.
You're a baby.
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 I wish I had a sound effects board right now.
Where, baby?
Exactly.
Pacific Rim
Uprising.
is one of those movies that has a bunch of action sequences bridged by some scenes that have some people speaking, but none of what they say makes sense. I have no idea what the point of any of this was. We have kaijus versus giant robots called Jaegers, and they wrestle with the agility of a gymnast. That does not seem possible. We have a plot where the kaijus are going to Mount Fuji so they can... I have no idea, but apparently it's
Develop
bad.
film.
Apparently it's bad, and it will destroy the entire world. At one point, they weld a giant rocket to one of the Jaegers so they can get to Mount Fuji quicker, but the rocket ends up launching them into outer space.
You lost me.
At that point, one of the operators of the giant robot Jaeger thing says, "We're almost there." What? Almost where? You're in outer space.
You lost me.
You are almost anywhere, but certainly nowhere near Mount Fuji. Then they show them re-entering the atmosphere with a giant hole in the front of the robot where they are exposed, but somehow the extreme heat and literal fire does not affect them. What is going on?
The question I have is, how long did this franchise take to go to space?
Only two.
Apparently.
They jumped the shark so quickly. And by the way, it took me 3 attempts to get through this whole thing. I fell asleep 40 minutes in the first time. I could have sworn I watched all but the last little bit the second time around, but I was apparently wrong because I'd only made it through 20 more minutes before falling asleep again. And then finally I made it through the last 50 minutes on my third attempt to bring me to the welcome sight of the closing credits. I literally have no idea what this was about. I watched it. I've got no clue. Why were they going to Mount Fuji? What is going on? What am I... The only thing I'm positive about is that this was a rage.
I thought it was about robots fighting.
You know, the first one was about robots fighting.
Oh.
And it was very
I thought
sexy.
this was more robots fighting, but in the Pacific Rim.
Well, we'll talk about the rim job later, Murray.
Okay.
So they destroyed the bridge in the first one. So why did they make another one?
I don't know.
That's really all I wanted to know.
Because
And
the
in the
kaiju
first
had
one-
to go feed on Mount Fuji. For
That's
some
right.
reason.
Well, Mount Fuji, like, if I was a kaiju, I think the name Mount Fuji makes it sounds like it's kind of delicious.
And what were they going to do that was going to destroy the whole... They're trying to explain that there's going to be a ring of fire around the whole world, and it was going to be... The whole world was... What is... What? What? What?
The Mount Fuji was going to erupt, I think. So
And destroy the world?
I think so. So in the first one, they had 2 pilots because all the science stuff that went with that. But in this one, they dumbed it down and said, oh, we can just make a smaller kaiju and have 1 person, but the science didn't change. So I was confused by that.
It was a mini...
It was a mini one that only needed 1, so it
mini
really
Jaeger.
wasn't melding with her mind with anybody.
she was
just
the-
melding with her own mind.
She was the Jägermeister.
Oh, okay.
Jägermeister.
Yeah, but they did dumb it down for us for sure. That makes complete sense now. I'm totally not confused. And then they throw a CLF in to make it more PG, I have to say.
Oh, this whole thing was PG.
And
yeah.
more Transformers with a sprinkling of Star Wars with Finn in to save the day Top Gun style with no likable qualities for the most part, of anyone. And everyone in this is annoying and unlikable. Yeah, this was way too much Transformers meets Top Gun, meets Fast and the Furious, meets RoboCop 3, meets High School Musical minus the musical, except really, 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 really boring. And that's why Bryce fell asleep 3 times.
3 times.
And I fell asleep 4 times.
Wow.
I literally had to watch the reason I was laughing so hard when you were telling that, because I had to try and watch it 4 times.
It's like, man.
And I'm still confused. In
Every
the first one,
every time I'm like, do I really need to
You
watch
have
the rest
to.
of this? And
You
I'm like,
do.
yes, I was dared to watch it. I have to watch the whole
and we
damn
were
thing.
actually paid to watch it. So not only that, but in the first one, they had no money to do anything. And in the first one, they pretty much destroyed the whole planet. Yet they had nothing but gobs of money for multiple projects with multiple Pacific Rim jobs happening.
Yes.
And I'm just like, what the hell is happening? Like, they made such a big deal of having no money in the first one. And this one was just like, there's money's no problems. Everybody's just throwing money.
Yes, rim
So,
jobs for everybody.
That's right. There was just way too much going on in this film, and none of it was robot versus kaiju action until the very end. It was so painful, and the CLF adjacent stupidity was in this. It was like, was I watching High School Musical goes to Pacific Rim, or what? What like it was like they were in training camp for like half the movie, and nothing happened. It was like they're training, but they didn't do any physical training. But then at the end, they were all trained. I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yep.
This film was convenient and corny and stupid and a PG-rated film that, again, probably should have had some robot sex somewhere in it. Full-on nudity of robots and kaiju genitals, which I never saw.
Robots.
And yeah, I kind of felt like I was watching like the rebranding of Power Rangers. So yeah, it was a rage. It was awful.
It was so bad.
2 idiots and a dog. You outdid yourself.
Yeah, well played. You blew it the first time around, but you have redeemed yourself in spades. That was what the Rage or Dare segment is all about.
That's right. If you can't find a movie that we're going to fall asleep 3 or 4 times in that's so boring, that's an action movie that's boring,
Yes.
then you have earned your job.
As I say, you don't want to try to tempt us with like so bad it's good movies. We want so bad that we actually struggle to watch it.
That's right. All right, now you get to Rage or Dare.
I don't like the look of your bag.
It's been pretty good to you so far.
Has it? Anyways, we're going with the audience dare bag.
That's right.
Gonna swish him around. I've got like 4 or 5 in my hand. I got to get it down to 1. Ooh, this one looks tasty.
Ooh, feels tasty.
It's folded up
Is there
a
a
bunch
hair
of
on it?
times. I
Is
don't
there-
know.
That's usually a
Because
trap.
a lot of them weren't folded
That's usually a
properly.
trap.
As you can read them through the bag, I want to make sure they were folded better.
Nice.
Is this the Mel Gibson movie?
What's it called?
The Patriot.
Yes,
1998?
the American Revolution.
Yep.
Okay.
Stars Mel Gibson, Heath
And
Ledger,
It's only like 4.5
Jolie
hours
Richardson, Jason Isaacs, Chris Cooper, who we love.
It's got a lot of people that I like.
It's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Long. Oh, I thought it was like 4.5.
No,
Is
it's
it 2 hours and
it's got
45
it's got
minutes?
it's got the once mesmerizing Tom Wilkinson in it.
Okay. This seems like a big commitment.
Yeah,
It is.
that's why it's in the bag.
The good news is this coming weekend
Yeah.
Yes.
is July 4th.
Oh,
So he can now
it's
watch a
perfectly
movie.
Ooh,
timed
I could
About
watch the
birth
Patriot
of a
on.
nation. There you go.
I could
on
watch The
July
Patriot
the
on
4th.
July 4th.
There you could.
That's right.
Where?
Then watch some fireworks.
With an Aussie in the lead role.
There you go.
That's right. Nothing beats
Actually, there's 2
a
Aussies.
racist Aussie to
there 2
fill out a
Aussies?
good patriotic film.
I thought Heath Ledger. Oh, Heath Ledger's American. I thought he was.
No,
American
no.
Too.
He's, what is he? He's Australian too, isn't he?
I thought he was.
Heath
Mel,
Ledger?
Mel?
No,
Oh,
Heath
yeah,
Ledger.
he's something.
Heath Ledger was too, I think, or at least English, if not. Aussie.
No, he's not English.
We just don't have enough Aussies in our patriotic films.
Right.
I'm not sure.
I can't wait to hear what
Anyways.
you think of
Can't
this.
wait.
I don't. You know what? I saw it in 1998. I don't remember it being that bad.
Surprise.
We'll
2
see-
hours
we'll
and
see-
45 minutes later?
We'll see what 24 years does to a film.
I'm sure it's like 2 hours of soldiers walking around. So
That's right. Yeah.
he'll be happy.
This
about
could
that.
be the
Sounds
best movie
delightful.
you've seen this year.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to it, actually. I just wish it wasn't so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks, Extended Rage family, who you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey from The Nerdy Photographer, the voice of Rage or Dare. We cannot get enough of you, buddy. Find us everywhere on social media at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please like, subscribe, send to your friends, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to move our rage. But no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 make us rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.